Coach Williams, do you feel like you literally stole a championship today, just the way, because they had the, they had the 15-point lead, they had the field position, everything seemed like this was against you. Then you get that field goal in the first half, and okay.
Never stole anything in my life. We earned it. And you got to give credit to those guys that just left out here and the guys in the locker room. You say that the field goal, what have you. Remember, we gave them three turnovers, and defense did what they had to do. You can go all the way back down to when we played them down in Grambling. We had 8 turnovers, and we lost by 6 points. We cut the turnovers down to 3, and we was able to win by 1. I think it was all about turnovers, but it's not a matter of stealing. It's a matter of who wanted to will. They willed themselves to win, just like A&M the first half basically controlled the first half. They had the ball. They took the opening kickoff, and they drove. But I knew and I believe in this team for what we've done over the last 7 weeks, that because we were still in it and A&M let us hang around, we had an opportunity, and that's what happened.
Coach, you've been here. You've been head coach at Grambling before. You had a hiatus. You come back not only as a head coach, but also coaching your son. Can you talk about, could you have scripted this any better to win it this year like this?
Well, it's not about scripting. I was fortunate enough, number one. The only thing that willed us to Birmingham is the fact that we had 2 young quarterbacks, Frank Rivers and DJ. And if we didn't have one or the other, I can promise you that we probably wouldn't be here, because when DJ got hurt in the A&M game, he missed about 3 straight games, and Frank came in and did what he had to do. And there was time when I substituted Frank for DJ, DJ for Frank, and it's fortunate that we won the championship. Yeah, it is special when you got a son, whether he play quarterback or any other position on the field. The fact that you got a chance to be a part of it, and somebody else in your family got a chance to be a part of it.
Coach, I know you're used to winning as far as Super Bowls, SWAC championships and all that. How does this win feel? Is it any different? Does it feel a little bit more joyous?
It's special because of where we come from. And these young guys will tell you, when we was 1-4, they didn't quit. The coaches didn't quit. We didn't change anything from 1-4 to the last 7 weeks. We did practice the same way. We worked the same way. It just so happened that they understood what was at hand, and we basically took 1 week at a time. We didn't look to who had to beat who in order for us to get in position. We basically say, if we take care of what we have to take care of, everything else will fall in place, and fortunately, that's what happened.
Coach Williams, the last time you met your former Super Bowl teammate Anthony Jones in September, your team fell short, of course. As you mentioned, you had 8 turnovers. How does it feel today, of course, cutting back on the turnovers and seeing to it that your offense was able to pull it out in the end?
Well, number one, AJ and I go way back. And as a coach, the worst thing about winning today is the fact that AJ had to lose, because him and I, the friendship that we have. But we said this yesterday at the press conference. We realized that the worst thing about it, that somebody had to win, somebody had to lose, and no matter what happened, it wasn't going to tarnish the relationship that we have, and that won't happen. If AJ had won, it's been the same way. I've been down today just like he's down today. I mean, that's part of it, and it's unfortunate that we both had to play in it, but it's also fortunate that we both got here.
The long pass for the big touchdown play, that was the first play of that possession. What was the thinking behind calling that play at that point, and how long did that ball seem to hang in the air for you?
Well, if you don't remember, we missed him early on basically the same route. The only thing we did differently on that route, we had play action to it to get the safety to come up to play run. The first time we went straight drop back. That time it was a 2-man route basically. And that was the post route and a crossing route. And everybody else went max protection to make sure we was able to get the ball off.
The ball seemed to hang up there a long time?
It hung perfect. It fell in the right place. It fell in Mario's hand.
Coach, do you see yourself in DJ at times?
You know, I think it's too early to look at it from that standpoint. You know, all I can say is DJ has willed himself to where he is. You know, nobody works harder than him, and nobody takes it harder. You know, I don't want to look at DJ and see me, and he'll be the first to tell you that he understands that I'm his daddy, but he wants to stand on his own 2 feet, and I think that's what it's all about.
So, getting back to the fumble that you picked up and ran for when Coach Jones said he thought his forward progress had stopped, and the next thing you know was out. And how did you see that particular play?
I saw his fumble. You know, if you look at a lot of plays, how long do the referees let him tuggle in there? A long time. That wasn't a long tuggle. It just so happened that ball came out a lot sooner than his foul progress had stopped. And, you know, and I understand where Coach coming from. I'd probably be the same way. But the way I looked at it, clearly a fumble, great recovery, TD.
Coach, you know as well as everyone in this room knows that Grambling always has that bullseye on their back. You know, always. Do you think the target will be a lot larger coming in next year?
You know what? It's Grambling. And, you know, with the history and the legacy of Grambling State University, I think everybody kind of set the standards. We beat Grambling, we got a chance. You know, coming into the SWAC, you know, I just got back in March and I came to the press day and they picked Grambling to win the conference with 2 freshman quarterbacks. And, you know, I had just left spring practice, so, you know, they scared the hell out of me, saying, no, they picked us. But you know what? I appreciate them. And when I went back and I told them, I said, they picked us. I said, but it's all a booby trap. It's a setup. Because basically I knew who we was dealing with. We was dealing with 2 young quarterbacks. Dorrance didn't even play the first 2 games because he did not have a good spring. And the guy, Mario, I didn't know Mario was going to come on the scene like he did. You're talking about a guy that had not been in a passing offense at all. And all of a sudden, you know, the instincts that he's shown over the last few weeks has been amazing. So we didn't know that we had those guys. And if you check everybody else's stats other than Mario from a receiver standpoint, you know, pretty miserable stats overall. So basically what we've had has been Mario and Dorrance. You know, and the thing I look for every week is for somebody else to stand up. And only one game this season, when we was at Arkansas Pine Bluff, that another receiver actually stood up and made plays.
What did you try to emphasize coming out of halftime after the offense struggling in the first half? What did you try to emphasize coming back in the third quarter?
Well, that we had 30 minutes. And everything was in reach. We had the ball first. We had to set the tone. And the defense settled down after the first drive, and I thought played a great football game. They let them move the ball a little bit, but I knew somewhere along the line something good had to happen because everything bad was happening. So, you know, law averages catch up with you when something good happens, and it did.
How did you feel about Jamarcus Savage? What kind of game did they have for you?
You know, I can't sit here and look at it from an individual standpoint. I think we probably should have had a couple of sacks that we didn't get, but overall, defensively, I thought they played a pretty solid football game after the first drive.